At the end of each and every show, I give you my one for the road. But before I do that, first off, if you're watching, you will see we have moved to our beautiful field set. Only the best, ladies and gentlemen, all the bells and whistles. And one of the reasons why we have done this segment here is because news is dropping, friends. News is dropping. Gregg Berhalter has named his 23-man roster for the upcoming Nations League games. They will play the semifinal against Jamaica, and then, who knows, a final against either Mexico or Panama. Not a lot of surprises when it comes to the 23, a lot of the usual suspects, but a couple of interesting omissions. No Brendan Aronson, no Brandon Vasquez up top. Mosse, what stands out to you in terms of the players that are here or not here?
I am shocked Tyler Adams is on this list. Now, he did come on today for Bournemouth. He played about 25 minutes in this crazy comeback win over Luton Town, but prior to that, he hadn't played since September. I assumed the hope was to have him ready for the summer. I'm very surprised he's on this list.
What about forwards? No Brandon Vasquez. I thought Brandon Vasquez would get called in.
Yeah, he went with three center forwards, Pepe, Balogun, and Sargent. So Sargent takes the place of a winger, but Malik Tillman was listed as a forward, and Gio Reyna can both play up there as well. And yeah, on that Vasquez point, Miles Robinson is the only non-European-based outfield player, and yet there were still people on X complaining about that, which is crazy to me. If anything, by not taking Vasquez, Gregg Berhalter is showing himself to be a Euro snob, yet people can't let go of this MLS quota narrative with him.
Well, if one thing's for sure, no matter what, when there is a roster drop, somebody is going to complain about something. All right, let me give you my one for the road, and what I'll do is I'm going to give you my 11 for the one for the road. Now, this isn't necessarily what Gregg Berhalter would do, but this is what I would do and the reasons why I would do it. All right, in goal, Matt Turner. He is the incumbent, but it is, I think, a discussion and a debate as to going forward. And if anybody can tell you how quickly things can change, it is Matt Turner. But for now, he is the starting goalkeeper, and he's got to prove it continuing going forward. Back four, not a lot of surprises on the outside with Dest on the right and Jedi Robinson on the left. I thought about it a little bit in the middle of this back four for the center back position. I got Tim Ream. He's just continuing on, but at some point you're going to have to move on from him, but I'm still okay with him right there. And then Chris Richards. Now, I thought about putting Miles Robinson in there, but I think we know what Miles Robinson is. I'm still not quite sure about Richards, and I think he has the capability and the potential to make that position his, and so I kind of want to see him in there. When we get to the midfield, again, not a lot of surprises in terms of Mosse and McKinney. They have been there for years now, and they have been doing a wonderful job. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Gio Reyna is in camp. We know the difficulties and the struggles Gio Reyna has had right now in terms of his loan and getting on the field and his club situation. But this is going to be an example of why I often say form is fallacy. If this is the player that so many people out there think he is, and I'll be honest, I think he is, then he should have no problem coming in kind of this number 10 role where he's given carte blanche. He can go all over the field, and especially against a team like Jamaica, I think he is going to have the opportunity to have lots of the ball, as the U.S. is going to have plenty of the ball. So I'm actually starting him, even though he's not playing a lot, I'm starting him in that position in advance of Mosse and McKinney. And then up top, on either wing, again, no surprises. Way and Pulisic, they have been there for years. I don't think anybody's going to fight me on that. Now, the Balogun thing is interesting because he has been kind of the anointed one, Mosse, when it comes to this position. But I still think that there's a huge competition out there. You mentioned Pepe. You mentioned Sargent. You even mentioned the people that aren't there with Brandon Vasquez and others out there. I think it's an ongoing competition, and Balogun has to prove that he is worthy of being given this number 9 position. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I can be convinced elsewhere and otherwise going forward. Any quibbles with what I have here?
I'm surprised you went with Balogun over Pepe or Sargent. Ream is interesting. Keep in mind Carter Vickers is injured. I think he would have factored into the center back picture. And you're not yet sold on Johnny Cardoso to give him a start.
I am sold in that I think that he is a good player. I'm not yet ready to throw Reyna out with the bathwater, I guess is what I'm saying. And if he has been such an important piece, and look, you know, he has his problems and has had his problems over the last couple of years, but I still think that there's quality. And let's also be honest, when it comes to this team, this U.S. men's national team, and Gregg Berhalter has said time and time again that it's really about ultimately being able to compete with elite teams. And when they are going to be playing against the likes of Jamaica and or Panama and Mexico, the U.S. should have the ball and should be able to beat these teams going forward. So I don't think that should necessarily be a problem. Anything before we go, my friend?
No, it should be fun. The U.S. going for their third straight CONCACAF Nations League title.
You got anything interesting going on this weekend besides watching a lot of soccer?
That's it.
Yeah? That's it? That's all you're going to do?
That's all I'm going to do.
What'd you think of the field segment here?
Boy, this is fancy. We're getting nominated for awards. We're getting this kind of...
All right, listen. Keep reviewing, keep downloading, keep rating, keep subscribing, keep doing all the different things that you do. We are so fortunate to be able to have so many people that are tuning into the State of the Union. We also have incredible men and women that make us look good. And as I say time and time again, it takes a village to make us look good. And whether it's the new sets that we just keep introducing and the expansion that we have when it comes to our digital studios here, it's because you are worth it. All right, listen, we will talk to you again next week. And until then, and as always, my friends, as I always say, size the day. You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.